Yes. Run.
What?
Run.
Welcome back everyone, and once again it's time to go balls deep into My Hero Academia. And gosh damn it guys, if you're following us weekly and watching our reviews, you would know that the foreshadowing in the last chapter was finally addressed. This chapter also turned the spice meter all the way up. I should have put this, you know what, let me just show you guys.
Wait, hold up. Oh shit.
In all seriousness though, this chapter does get super wild as Deku's girlfriend clashes heads on with his #1 stalker. We also get to see a spectrum between the heroes, where the author is making us think and question their limits to what is one supposed to do to stop evil from happening. Not too long ago, Hawks made the decision to take the life of Twice, which in many standards is not hero-like. This even to a mentally deranged character like Toga questioned her own understanding on what a hero really is. The moral dichotomy between good and evil can be easily blurred into a grey area, where a person who is supposed to represent a hero commits action not befitting of its role. Likewise, a villain can end up displaying emotions or take actions which one would not expect from an evil person. We find this trope in many different hero stories, even from the DC or MCU. Punisher being a great example of a person preventing evil people from continuing their wrongdoings, but in the process, the Punisher also commits evil actions, which again falls into a subjective area. My Hero Academia exploring this brings an aspect of reality into this crazy world. Even if no one had quirks, so-called human heroes in our own world commit atrocious acts in the name of protecting their country or belief. But all in all, honestly, I saw people calling this chapter a little weak on Reddit and Twitter, but I think this was a great way to showcase the second battlefront. And you guys know I love all the girls in My Hero Academia, especially you, Toga.
What? What did you say?
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, yeah, I mean. Okay, so right off the bat, the chapter starts with a mysterious plane in the sky, which is carrying an unknown person aboard. Now this person asks the pilot kindly to get them to the destination in the next 5 minutes. The pilot responds saying, "That's not possible," and they are flying at top speed, so he should just take a seat. Now, who could this unknown guy be? Well, I believe this is most likely Best Genius. If it wasn't obvious, my man ain't dead. Well, not yet, that is.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Now, if you look at the panel inside the plane, we can see two distinct cylinders which seem to be carrying some fabric. And which hero uses fibers to fight? Best Genius?
Of course!
On top of that, the pilot tells the figure to take a seat because they aren't at full health yet. If you guys remember all the way back in chapter 231, Hawks met up with Best Genius after Darby suggested that Hawks needed to prove his loyalty to the League and their cause. Even in chapter 265, Hawks told Twice that if neither side will give up, somebody has to die. This is also a hint to Hawks doing something which he regrets for the greater good. We all assumed that Best Genius was killed by Hawks, but it could have been just a plan between two heroes to trick Darby. In reality, we knew that Hawks would not have killed Best Genius, but then it brings up the question of the dead body. Who did it belong to? Was it artificial, or was it just a random dead body from the morgue? Yeah, on that point, even Darby was doubting Hawks, but questioned the body itself is real, which still meant that Hawks desecrated someone's body. Again, which falls underneath the grey area on what's good and evil. But obviously, it's still not as bad as killing your friend. Anyways, moving back to the chapter, we see more destruction caused by Gigantomachia. He's flinging buildings around as if they were made out of Legos. We also learned that this gigantic monster is running at 100 kilometers an hour. We then move to the heroes on site and the civilians who are running as the heroes blame themselves for failing to protect the people. They cry about how they should just go in and give their lives to protect the people, but they are just running away from the monster themselves.
I'm confused. I'm confused right now, G.
We then cut to the villains who are with Gigantomachia. Skeptic takes out his laptop, tapping into the satellite and figures out that the heroes are coming. He says it's not as big of the army as the one in the villa, but it's still a decent number. As they are discussing the situation, Toga notices something in the video and tells the hacker dude to enhance. Toga sees Tsuyu and Uraraka. This must be destiny. Not too long ago she was thinking about them and now she knows where they are. Toga gets super excited and asks Mr. Compress for her equipment. Without a second thought, Toga just legged it, heading straight towards Uraraka and Froppy after Mr. Compress located their position. But Toga, in order to find out how she should come to terms with the weird feeling inside of her, is like, "Bun you, I'm going to find my bestie Uraraka and Tsuyu and ask them all these questions."
Asking all them questions. Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
But not giving up, Mr. Compress tries to get Darby to persuade Toga, where he says, "Don't just stand there, say something." Knowing that Darby is probably one of the few people Toga would actually listen to. However, man like Darby was like, who cares? Telling the others to ignore her and just move on. But then Spinner calls out Toga, who stops for a moment listening intently. Spinner gives the speech of the day, saying, "I know we are just a gang of strays who happen to find each other by chance, but you're not the only one feeling messed up by what happened to Twice." Continuing on stating that what they have is what Twice considered his home and their boss Shigaraki would probably like to see them together, which I highly doubt, but you know, if it makes them happy to believe that, then continue believing it. But following this statement, Spinner ended it telling her to just do what she wants, as villains do, but make sure to come back to them. This is probably suggesting that Spinner sees their ragtag group of strays as something more than just accomplice in crime and potentially as family like Twice did, in which all in all was quite wholesome. Not gonna lie, I mean, look at the kawaii smile Toga is showing. I almost forgot she's crazy. We then transition to a panel of best girl Uraraka just floating about, who then notices something in the distance where she sees a huge ass villain going at an incredible fast pace. This happened to be none other than the rampaging Gigantomachia, who is still Hulk smashing his way across the city. And as the heroes are urged to hurry up with the evacuation, they are guided to run outside of Gigantomachia's path. With many people still left inside the building, the heroes decided to split up to hasten their pace. Froppy indicates to Uraraka about more civilians trapped inside a building, requesting Uraraka's assistance, who without skipping a heartbeat responded, rushing towards the building Froppy was hanging on. But suddenly, Uraraka shouted, "Froppy!" as she noticed a falling piece of debris which was about to land on Tsuyu, which then slammed. Shit guys, is she dead?
No!
We then see the panned out shot of the building that had just been struck by the falling debris, followed by a random ass hero using his quirk to stop the residue debris from landing on the civilians on the ground, where luckily Tsuyu managed to escape unharmed.
Of course!
Oh shit, that was a close call. Legitly, Deku's future baby mama Uraraka saved her ass and the civilians, as we see that Uraraka managed to pull Froppy and the civilians out of the way at the last moment. As Uraraka puts them down, from out of nowhere an old lady screams at the two of them,
"Please, you two gotta help me. My husband was sleeping and he's a slow ass old man. Too heavy for me to carry."
Shit guys, sorry for my voice acting there.
Bruh.
Uraraka then looks across, seeing that Gigantomachia is still on the move, and tells Froppy to get the other civilians to safety as she follows the old lady. She wants to save as many people as she can, so she follows Granny at high speed. But at this point, it kinda gets bait, as this old lady seems a bit sus. How the hell is this old granny running faster than Usain Bolt? Even Uraraka seems to think so, as she exclaims, "You got some pretty strong legs, woman." But then the old lady is like, "Nah, it's okay. It's because of the love for my husband." Like damn, love must be some powerful steroid. Like damn, look at those granny legs go. But Uraraka buys that story. She's like, "Oh she, okay B, I can feel that. It's like my love for Deku, right?" But as soon as Uraraka states that she will save her husband, good old granny transforms into Toga Himiko. As Toga transforms back to her birthday suit, in a bit of a saucy way she says, "It's been forever baby cakes," in which Uraraka urges her to wait. Surprised as heck, she follows Toga into a creepy ass abandoned dark house, which we all know is a great start to a beautiful story.
Of course!
For reals though, if you lot haven't noticed, or maybe I'm just thinking a bit too deep here, but this starting point is very similar to Hawk's and Twice's interaction before Twice got bodied. Even though Toga isn't really Uraraka's friend, but she does have a soft spot for her and does care for her opinion. Either way, going forward, Toga, hidden within the shadows in the room, tells Uraraka how she also wanted to talk to Frog Girl Tsuyu, as she also considered her a cute precious friend along with our boy Deku. Yes guys, guys, Toga loves the way he handles all his injuries. He's cool to her. But as Toga goes through her missing list of friends, she comes back to Uraraka telling her that she finds her cute too, which is the reason she likes her and how much she wanted to be like her. In some ways, Toga might be serious in this because a lot of what she went through was because of her suppression by her parents at a very young age. Her quirk itself has a disturbing nature behind it, and it's not really her fault that she has a lust for blood, but because she was forced to think that she was abnormal and what she was feeling was wrong, instead of being taught how to deal with her lust and feelings towards this weird obsession with blood, Toga ended up going off the rails and becoming batshit crazy like she is. And from the League of Villains, Twice was probably one of the only characters that she could resonate towards the most. With both of them having some sort of mental disorder and being out of place, it does make a lot of sense. So knowing that Twice was killed from the very heroes that she herself might have had little hope in really would shatter her worldview. Yes guys, because I do believe that Toga deep down might have wanted to be like the UA high school kids and be part of their clique, but due to her experiences she ended up where she did. This doesn't excuse her from all her actions, but it's not fair to say that her circumstance didn't play an effect. But as Toga asks her question that was on her mind all this time, she jumps Uraraka, pinning her down to the ground, where she proceeds to ask, "What do you wanna do with me?" Again reflecting back on her position in society. Remember, she sees herself very comparable to Twice. What she's pretty much asking Uraraka is that will she also be sentenced to death? However, all of this just annoys Uraraka as she snaps back saying, "You killed and stole an old lady's blood just so you can ask me a question like that?" Where this response from Uraraka shocks Toga. In some ways, Uraraka's response might have been very insensitive given the context to Toga's question, but due to the lack of communication, Uraraka can't see this, like she doesn't know Toga's best friend Twice was killed by a hero. This issue of miscommunication generally causes problems throughout life itself, pushing one to feel misunderstood and hurt. However, in reality, Uraraka's response might have been the realist answer from someone like her. She in all essence is innocent and has the mindset of a true hero. Hawks crossing the line was due to his training as a spy. Hawks never ended up becoming a hero that he wanted, but became a tool for the agency he worked for. However, coming back to the earlier point we made, this does still push the question, if given the circumstance, can a hero still take a life? For instance, even Deku, if he killed Shigaraki, would that really be the wrong thing to do? This goes back to the moral dichotomy of good and evil and what falls in between. At the end of the day, with one lens, everything could be subjective, unless ordained by a supreme being outside of the realm of human logic. Because as long as humans have the ability to see things in an abstract way, with the ability to make opinions, there will always be different views. And with different views, we fall into the spectrum of different choices and actions. Even if we agree on what's good and what's bad, we might have a different opinion on how to achieve that goodness. And also with logic, the idea of saving the world with sacrificing a few comes into play, where one might think that they are benefiting the world, but in reality, they are destroying it. But coming back to this chapter, it ends with Uraraka answering Toga's question while thinking back on her own failures. Uraraka says, "I'm going to save as many people as I can, and if Toga gets in the way of her goals, then she will stop her right here and right now." But with all of that, Toga looks at Uraraka with the utmost disappointment. If looks kills, Toga just murdered a million. Seriously, this gaze is nearly as bad as the look my dad gave me when I got a B for chemistry. This is definitely not the answer Toga was looking for. She wanted to know why her friend died. She wanted to know that if she deserved to die too. She wants to understand it. But because Toga keeps putting the heroes as one big monolithic group, she will never understand. Either way, we're gonna see an all-out battle between Toga and Uraraka. Hopefully, none of these two will die, because I actually like Toga. Damn girl, yeah, say I like Toga. Say something, bruh. Say something. On the serious note, guys, if you lot want any of these homegirls to be on the next merch, then let us know in the comment section below. Should we make a Uraraka merch or a Toga merch? Who knows, even a Suyu merch. I know you like some of that tongue-on-tongue action. Anyway, guys, with that, let's keep... Anyway, guys, with that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you lot in the next video. See ya!